Hey everybody, welcome back. We've got a very exciting video today. So finally got my 7800X3D in and I've got Windows installed. This one here that we're looking at is my 5800X3D. And for this test system, I'm going to try to make this as apples to apples as I possibly can between these two CPUs. So on the 5800X3D, we've got a 6900XT paired with it and 4 sticks of 8 gigabytes of DDR4 3600 CL16 with very tight timings. So that's going to act like dual rank, and it's going to be the best possible case scenario for the 5800X3D. For the 7800X3D, we've got 2 DIMMs of 32 gigabytes at CL30 with just Expo enabled. I haven't gone through the timings on DDR5 yet. I have enabled the PBO and did a negative offset of -30. And the only thing that I've done so far is run Cinebench R23 on the 7800X3D just to make sure that it could get past that. Now, that's not saying it's not going to crash with a negative offset of -30 on PBO here in the game, but we shall soon find out. So on the 5800X3D, I've updated to 3.19 and deleted the shaders. And of course, for the 7800X3D, it's a completely brand new, fresh install. No shaders have even been compiled yet at all. And again, it's not going to be like an averaged recording of average FPSs with 1% lows or anything like that. This is just going to be standing together, same server, same location, same spots, looking at the same things with the same resolutions, and seeing what the difference in the frame rates are. Now, for the 7800X3D, we've got the Gigabyte Aorus 3080 Ti. And I know that's, again, not quite as apples to apples as the 5800X3D with the 6900XT. However, we're going to turn down the resolutions, the qualities and clouds off, so to make sure that we're just not going to be GPU bottlenecked. I just had to do a quick character customization, and we're going to show options here for the graphics to make them as apples to apples again as possible. So 1440p, full screen, medium details with high scattered object and terrain distance. Volume clouds are off. Again, we just want to see the difference between the two CPUs. Field of view is 100. Motion blur off, VSync off, sharpening off, chromatic aberration is off, and fill grain is off as well. And then for the other account, we're going to make sure the same. So again, 1440p full screen, medium, high off, 100 for field of view, motion blur off, VSync off, sharpening off, chrome aberration off, and fill and grain off. It's going to be compiling here in the beginning because none of them have compiled anything yet. So for the 7800X3D, we've got kind of settling in at 76, 77-ish maybe right now while compiling. 5800X3D just jumped in. And settling in at about 70-ish. While compiling, 68, 70-ish. Oh, 78. I'm not so sure the 7800X3D is going to be worth it. All right, 81, 82. Okay, maybe about 10 FPS in the best case, but 0% or 0 FPS difference in the normal case. So right now, you're looking at the 5800X3D, and I'll call out the FPS on the 7800X3D. Right now we're doing 88, 89, 90. All right, we're gonna let the compiling settle down, and then once it settles down into the area and quits, then we'll get both characters on the same spot and see what the difference is. Okay, we're back. Just gave it about 3 minutes and waited for the compiling to mostly complete. There's still some compiling that's happening every now and again. But for the 5800X3D, let's see here. around 82, 85, 86. For the 7800X3D, 92, 93. And while you're watching the 7800X3D here, I'll call out the FPS on the 5800X3D. So we're doing 85, 86, 87, 86. All right, here all I've done is stand up. So pressed Y and did not move the mouse to look around different or anything like that. So we're doing here 5800X3D, we're doing 97-ish, 93. And on the 7800X3D, we're doing 108, 109. So currently, there's about 20 frames per second difference. Right now on the 5800X3D, we're doing 90, 85, 90. Okay, we've got them on the same floor here of Grain Circle. This is the 5800X3D. We're looking at each other, but this may not be apples to apples because one's looking away from the window and one is looking towards the window. So 5800X3D, we're doing about 80-ish. And for the 7800X3D, we're doing about 108-ish. So let's get them both looking at the same item in the same spot. So let's go over here and put them both here looking at the keypad. All right, 90 FPS and 112 FPS. All right, we just stepped out of the elevator here. We're at the lobby of Green Circle, the habitation area for Orison. And for the 5800X3D, we're doing 7980. And for the 7900X3D, we're doing 93. And I'll call out the FPS on the 5800X3D. So maybe some more entities streamed in here while we're doing this. We're doing 75. So 74, 76, 75. So yeah, still about 15 to 20 frames per second different. All right, we just stepped outside. We're looking at the August Dunlow Spaceport tram area, waiting area there. And this is one of the harder tests for the CPU draw calls. And so on the 5800X3D, we're doing 68-ish, 67. And for the 7800X3D, we're doing 80, now dripping down to 79, 80, 81. So about 14 FPS difference here between the two. So not bad, not bad. Is it worth it? Maybe not. You know, with the longevity of maybe AM5, being able to keep the platform for a number of generations, that might make it more cost-effective and efficient, but only time will tell. So, all right, let's go do some more fun stuff. All right, waiting on the tram for the August Dunlow. We've got 67-ish, 68, and 80. So 12 FPS. All right, we just stepped off the elevator here at August Dunlow, and we're doing 121 to 126, 127. And we're doing 158, 150, 158. All right, here's the observation deck of the August Dunlow. And 5800X3D, we're doing 68, 70, 69, 70. And we're doing on the 7800X3D 83, 82 versus the 5800X3D is doing right now 68, 69, 65, 60, 70, 72. Okay, here we are at the terminals here. 5800X3D is doing about 130-ish, 131, 132. And 7800X3D is doing 160. All right, got both my guys on the Cuddy Black here, just looking out the back end of it. And on the 5800X3D, we're doing 126, 127-ish. And for the 7800X3D, we're doing 152, 155. Okay, let's see, right above the spaceport here. Not quite apples to apples because one's in the pilot seat and one's in the turret. But 5800X3D doing 52-ish FPS. Looking here at the spaceport. And for the 7800X3D, 72. So 20 frames per second, almost dead 20 frames. And but I'm going to switch them up and put the other one in the pilot seat. All right, here it is reversed in the 5800X3D. My guy's in the co-pilot seat, and then in the pilot seat for the 7800X3D. So about, actually, when sitting in the pilot seat, it's maybe about 10 FPS difference. Not a whole lot there. From 51-ish to 61-ish here. So, yeah, not too much difference there. 5800X3D in the pilot seat, quantum driving over to the far end of space there. Doing about 98, again, in the pilot seat. In the co-pilot seat, the 7800X3D is doing 135. But we're going to switch up the pilots, make sure we keep it apples to apples as best we can here. All right, in the pilot seat during quantum driving on the 5800X3D, we had, what would you say, 100? I think it was 99, 100. And here we are, we're at 117 on the 7800X3D. And then for the co-pilot seat, where we were 134, we're doing about 115-ish, 112 on the 5800X3D. All right, let's get them out the seats while it's doing the quantum drive, and let's look out the back. All right, we're looking out the back. Both pilots are out of the seat while quantum driving all the way to the other edge of the universe. And so 5800X3D, we're doing 137, 135. And this is interesting. 7800X3D, 137, 138, 140. All right, this is really interesting. All right, 5800X3D, quantum drive is stopped. We're out in the middle of space doing nothing. And just sitting here. So 5800X3D, doing 180.7. But the 7800X3D is getting demolished at 157. The temperature's never gone above 77 here while gaming on the CPU, the 7800X3D. And we're currently boosting all the way to 5050. Interesting. And yet we're getting absolute dog schmoo performance compared to the 5800X3D. So 155 versus 180. That is really weird. That's really weird. Nope, no errors. So no memory errors, no WEA errors. It appears to be completely stable. I am baffled. I have absolutely no idea why the 5800X3D would just be demolishing the 7800X3D out here in open space. Huh. Okay, rebooted the 7800X3D and went into the BIOS and dropped the PBO offset from -30 to -5. So that should be definitely no problems whatsoever with any kind of clock stretching, if that was the problem indeed. So here we are, we've re-entered the universe here. We got the 5800X3D here doing 218, just waking up in the hab. At Ambitious Dream. And then for the 7800X3D, we've got 249, 250-ish here. So, all right, let's get back out into space and see if we see the same behavior of the 7800X3D just being far, far behind the 5800X3D. Okay, this is just getting weird. So I stopped on the way to the ASOP terminals, and this is the 5800X3D here at Ambitious Dream. Just exited the elevator, and yeah, here we go, 135 FPS versus the 7800X3D, 120. I'll have to switch GPUs and kind of do the testing all over again. Wow. All right, here's looking at the ASOP terminal here at Ambitious Dream. 5800X3D is one solid 170, 169 and a half versus 166. I've got to test the 7800X3D with the 6900XT. It's going to happen anyways because, you know, I'm a Linux guy, so I'm going to put the 6900XT in no matter what on this new platform and test it out. So, but anyways, for the time being, this is the best that we could do with the 3080 Ti not being quite apples to apples. But yeah, absolutely crazy. I just don't get it. Okay, here we go. We're inside the Titan and just looking here, just, you know, towards the cockpit. 5800X3D is 221-ish versus 7800X3D 202 to 197. Okay, so maybe it's just because my guy is just not standing exactly in the same spot. All right, quantum driving, 5800X3D in the pilot seat, 175-ish. And so apples to apples, I'm gonna put the other guy in the seat here in a little bit. All right, 7800X3D in the pilot seat, quantum driving. What? 5800X3D, staring out into the back of empty space out in the middle of nowhere. 227 and a half-ish, 228 for the 5800X3D. For the 7800X3D, standing right next to my guy, 191 and a half. 37 frames per second slower than the 5800X3D out here in open space. It's gotta be the 6900XT versus the let's see what we can find for the utilization here. The quickest and easiest thing for me to do though is, like I said, put the 6900XT into the 7800X3D's platform and try again. Right now, we are definitely GPU limited in both cases. So that's making more sense why the 7800X3D is not doing as good of a job. And the 6900XT is just beating the snot out of the 3080 Ti. So here you can see the, wait, where is it? The GPU utilization there is at 99% and the D3D usage is 100%. So that's the 6900XT. And then the same for the 3080 Ti. You can see the core load there, 100%. So we're definitely GPU limited. So in the real high FPS regime, they're just, the 3080 Ti just can't keep up with the 6900XT, which is something I never thought was the case. I thought the 3080 Ti was faster than the 6900XT. So we will have to swap GPUs and redo the tests and and see what the 7800X3D gets. And we'll just have to remember this. In open space, on a 6900XT, we're doing 227. Okay, all right, we're back. And we've got the 6900XT installed with the 7800X3D since we found out that the 6900XT demolishes the 3080 Ti. All right, so how is it performing here? Just waking up at Ambitious Dream in the hab. So we're doing, oh, what's that? 260, 270 FPS, sometimes dropping down 250, 260, 270, somewhere in there. Not too bad. All right, so we'll get out into space and I won't drag along the other account. Just gonna do this real quick and just make sure that we get you know, something around 227 FPS out in open space. Here we are out in open space, 7800X3D with the 6900XT, and yeah, it was just the 3080 Ti is the problem. So we're still GPU limited here at this point, not CPU limited, so doing 233 FPS out here in open space. Let me bring up the Radeon overlays, and you can see that we are indeed at the 293 watts limit on this card with a 100% utilization there. So that is showing us that we are GPU limited. That was the case. There we are. We have exactly the 227 that we saw previously with the 5800X3D using the 6900 XT with it. So there you go. That's it. So I guess to wrap this up, before I do the video on actually recording and measuring the metrics rather than just doing this, point in space and time with both CPUs as best apples to apples as we possibly could. We'll actually go through and record using the 6900 XT now, obviously, because of the higher performance than the 3080 Ti. Both CPUs with 3.19 here, and get the averages, the maxes, the 1% lows, and we'll do it for both Windows and Linux, and we'll go from there. So there you go. There you have it. 7800X3D is faster by about 15 to 23 frames per second is my guess, and so that'll take care of it. Take care. We'll see you next time.